Yes guys, welcome to today's video. It's the preview. I'm even confused. The review of the game between Leicester and Chelsea. Man, I'm I'm so angry right now. I don't know what to say. It was a very terrible game from us. We lost right from the get-go. Tactically, moment like our momentum was down. Everything was down. We didn't look like we were prepared for the game. Right from the beginning, we had the setup wrong. Why was Rudiger starting ahead of Zuma? What happened to Zuma? What did he do? Are we trying to get a market for Rudiger? Why do we start him in a match as important as this one? And for the second goal, what was Reece James doing? From the beginning of this season, I've been saying time and time again that our right backs and left back advance too much. If you advance and you know you cannot come back, then don't. Getting to the end of the game, we realized that Reece James displaced Hudson-Odoi from his position. And you realize that anytime we are advancing, instead of Hudson getting the ball on the wings, try to dribble through and get the ball to the attackers, you realize that Reece James would be the one trying to cross the ball. And the crosses were not even going through. So I don't see why. I don't know if Frank gave the order that Reece James should be taking Hudson's position or what. I saw some tweets that people were saying that Hudson had a bad game. He didn't have a bad game. Our coach set him up to fail. He was set up to fail. Right from the beginning, we realized that in the first half, the players were not even passing the ball to him. Every time they get the ball, they use Pulisic's side of the pitch. They try to find Pulisic every single time. Meanwhile, we don't have only one winger in the game. When you use only one side of the pitch, you are just telling your opponent that, well, this is the side I'm going to use. So if you want to stop me, then just block this side. And they did. They took out Pulisic and we were still, my goodness. Chilwell, what was he doing on the sideline? Every single time Chilwell gets the ball, he's moving like just some few meters away from the line. Why? What happened to the rest of the pitch? Is he banned from getting onto the rest of the pitch? If you are playing football, and I think anybody that plays football would agree with me on this, that anytime you are playing football, if you move the ball to the edge of the line, you are just creating a very small space for yourself to be able to control the game. And that was what they were doing. That was exactly what Chilwell was doing. Every time he gets the ball, he just keeps moving the ball along the line. And you realize that we get pressured and then we lose the ball. We lose it. He tries to play this 1-2 play with Pulisic and it never works. So what's happening? What is happening? And you could see that there was no energy in the game. Sure, Mason Mount was running around, but there was no energy in this game. We are playing against a team like Leicester City. Just some few points away from the top spot on the league table, and you are running around as if there's nothing at stake. Kai Havertz, the guy deceived us with those performances he gave during the substitution in the past few games. Kai Havertz, you had I don't even know how to describe how he plays. He's like macaroni. The guy is so soft. There were times in the game where I was expecting him to stand on his ground, but you just touch him and he's on the ground. He loses the ball way too easily. And then the back passes. We were giving away so many back passes in this game. So many back passes. Why? Why do we keep going back? Go to them. You realize that every time Leicester got the ball, they were coming at us. Even when we fell back to defend, they didn't mind. They still came. They still came at us. But then every time we try to attack them and they fall back, then we are like, well, let's go back. Let's see what we can do again. And you know what? Let's restart. Get it back to Thiago Silva. Why? Meanwhile, we have players who are designed to attack. You have Mason Mount. I mean, you have Kovacic. Kovacic has the ability to dribble through players, through defenses. Why didn't we use that? Why? If there's a situation where Leicester is failing to open up, why not allow Kovacic to dribble through, and then Mount will cover for him? And you realize that they had some few counter-attacks, although it didn't work out. I think the second one ended in the goal. You realize that every time they came at us with a counter, we were outnumbered. They ran so fast at us. You just see Rich James and Chilwell just jogging their way back like some princess coming down from the castle stairs. The only players that you could see hunting down counter-attacks was Kovacic and then Mason Mount. Kovacic, Mount, and Rudiger, Thiago Silva. These were the only players. And Mount sometimes got tired, so he just decided, well, I'm going back, but I'm not going to run. This game was very, very upsetting, and I really hope that we solve this issue. I mean, Frank got the tactics wrong. He got the formation wrong. He got everything wrong in the game. And when you are going into a game where you don't have the spirit and the edge, you don't have the belief that you're going to win, you are definitely going to lose. You'll be outpowered. You'll be outpowered. And that was what happened in the game. We lost it. We lost it because our coach didn't believe he could. The instructions you give to your players is exactly what they... And then there's this thing that I've realized from our players in a very long time. I've always wanted to speak about it, but I forget. Why do we always leave spaces? Why? When we get the ball and then we give a pass, you realize that the player does not move into the next space to receive the ball. The only Chelsea player that used to do that a lot was Fabregas, and then now he's not there anymore. None of our players does that anymore. None. Zero. Nada. Nobody does it anymore. When we pass the ball, we have to move into the next space, the closest space, and receive a pass. But you realize the players will be standing exactly where they were standing before they made the pass. And that only gives the opponent the advantage to cover. When you look at teams that play tiki-taka football, when you look at teams like Bayern Munich, you look at teams like Manchester City, Barca, you realize that these things, when they are playing and then a player gives a pass, he shifts to either his right or his left to allow the player to return the pass to him. And that is what Leicester used on us today. They were just exchanging the passes in front of our 18-yard box, because every time they had the ball and then they give a pass, the player moves in, another player moves, advances, or retreats to receive the pass so that they can move the ball in around our 18-yard box so fast that it will be difficult for us to defend. There were a couple of instances where we were able to give that 1-2 passes, like that ball from Kai Havertz to Pulisic that created that chance for Cho. But there were many occasions where we could have done better in terms of our positioning. And then this thing where the left and right backs take the positions of the ring forward, the right wing forward and the left wing forward. They take their positions, and that is very dangerous. It's a very dangerous thing to do in football. When you look at the big teams, the teams that are on top of their leagues now, you realize that they will never allow that to happen. You are allowed to advance, but not ahead of the right wing forward or the left wing forward. You are not allowed to advance ahead of the wingers, because then it's like you're taking their job away from them. And then you realize that when there's a counter attack, we are left hanging. We are left hanging. I mean, Lampard has got so many things wrong this season, and I'm right on the edge. I'm right on the edge. And for me, I feel that we are Chelsea fans. We are not Lampard fans. And as much as we love the guy, I mean, my name is Frank. So I'm literally I'm literally the biggest fan of the guy. But I mean, come on, you have to admit it's time. It's time to be honest. We cannot do this anymore. It's time to break up. It hurts, but it's time. Let's do what is good for the club. And I mean, I don't even know what to say. So let's know what you also saw from the game. Tell us what you saw from the game in the comment section. Like this video and subscribe to this channel. I'll see you again in the next video. Come on, you Blues.